Hi, thanks for checking out our channel. This is going to be possibly how to repair or fix this. This is a DC power supply. It's a 12 volt, 3 amp capacity power supply. I don't work on this kind of stuff that often. We work on electric fence equipment and cattle scales and stuff like that. Well, the customer that sent us the cattle scale uses this to power up his scale, because it's ran by an internal battery, but the battery gets low and he doesn't have it, plug it into the outlet to charge it up. You can hook it up to a 12 volt supply, and he was using this power supply as that, but this power supply is no good. It doesn't come on at all. So I told the guys, I'll try to fix this if I can. If not, I've got another alternative for him to use on it. So I'll go ahead and plug it in. It doesn't come on at all, but we'll plug it in real quick just to show you. So you should turn this light on, or turn the switch on. A little red light should come on, and it doesn't come on and do anything. I'm not super familiar working on this stuff, but electronics is something we kind of fiddle fart around with, so we're gonna give it a whirl and see what we can do. So we'll pull the screws off of it. I think what we're gonna have to change out, and we're gonna try. I already ordered one to try. There's a thermal protection piece that's on the back of this thing, that heat sink on there. If those short out or go bad, that'll shut the unit off, and that's the easiest thing to change on, is that. So that's what we're going to try first, but I don't know if I probably need to take the cover off first just to try. And the model of this piece of equipment is PR3A. It's a DC power supply. Like I said, it's outputs 13.8 volts, about at 3 amp capacity. Well, it does have a fuse in it. It takes a 3 amp fuse right there, which I never thought there was a fuse on it, and I don't have a fuse here of that size. We'll check the fuse first. Oh yeah, it's blown, but we'll check it anyways just to see. But I think the filament's burnt right in half. So let's do continuity check across it so he doesn't beep at all. I'll stick temporarily, since I'm not going to be hooking a load to it. I think a 1 amp fuse should be okay to use just for testing wise. I got a 1 amp. So there's nothing hooked up to the external side, so it's not going to be loaded down with anything. So it shouldn't have hardly any draw with it. Make sure it's turned off. It's off. Plug it in. Flip the switch. Oh. Saw it for a second. It blew the fuse as soon as I turned it on. I'm getting low on fuses, so I don't want to use too many of those. Okay, so it's blowing the fuse because it's short somewhere. So we'll try to replace this piece here on the back. Maybe that's part of the problem, but it's got wires all soldered to it. I think it goes in a certain way. So I've got a new one here. That's what I originally thought was wrong. I didn't even pull the thing apart. It has 2 contact points and 3 wires down here, but okay, it looks like one of them goes to the frame, through the frame of the case into this, but you probably got to put it on a certain way. Probably some kind of polarity thing to it. Let's see if we can test it somehow and see if it's got any kind of So it's almost like a diode. So we check across here to here. Alright, well that read. And it's getting a reading there as well, but I think this is actually okay. Alright, let's unplug the, turn it off, power's out, cord's unplugged. Let's pull a little circuit board out of this. Can't come up very high because I don't give you much working room. I don't think these things are technically supposed to be fixed. Capacitor's kind of swelled up a little bit. Maybe that's the problem. Or, let's see, the power comes in. Part of it goes into the transformer, and the other part goes into the switch, and coming out of the switch goes to here. Let's just see if the switch has got a short in it. Maybe that's part of the problem. Okay, so it's off right now, so it should not beep. Flip the switch, should beep. Let's double check, turn it back off. Alright, switch is fine. So maybe the problem's in this. And all the diodes on there look good. We can check those, I guess. Let's they're all good. So this capacitor's a little swollen on top, so that could be the issue, but they don't, it's on the back side. I can't read what size it is. I mean, if I had one, we could try. It is 30 3300 microfarads. Wow. 25 volt. Yeah, 3300 microfarads. That's a physically not big, but it's got a lot of microfarads there. So backside looks good. So I mean, that are the problems here. But it needs a, you know, I need the right fuse. No, they recommend a replace with same type 4 amp fuse only. I thought it said 3 amp. And then down here it says replace with 5 amp. They must have a couple of different boards they use, but the only one that's really showing up is 4 amp, so they need a 4 amp fuse. So maybe, unless that 1 amp fuse is a little too small, amperage wide, but it wasn't loaded down with any, there was no load on it, so it wasn't drawing anything. So I would have thought 1 amp would have been alright to just for testing it, but maybe not. Maybe it needs that 4 amps. Maybe it does have more amp draw when it's just running. I don't know. Well, we'll have to get a new fuse for it, and I might as well see if I can find I don't have this capacitor in stock. I got other ones for other things, so we'll have to get a capacitor for it. That's not a big deal. We can get those. So I'll order a fuse for it, capacitor for it, try it, see what happens. I don't think you can get circuit boards for them. I've never looked into it. I don't even know what these things cost new, but if we can replace the capacitor so it's a little bit swelled up on top, so it's been stressed out somewhere along the line, put the right fuse in there, might get 2 or 3 of them, so I have some spares just in case I blow one. And if that solves this issue, hey, good to go, ready to use it again. But if it doesn't do anything, it's still not working right, then I don't know, I think probably shot. I mean, this transfer might be the problem. Doubt you can get those from them directly. No part number written on it anywhere. probably get them somewhere, and they don't want the number written on it, so that way people can't search for it to find one. Well, that's it for now until maybe we'll make a part 2 out of this, see what happens. So, alright, so subscribe to the channel, we appreciate that. If you got any pointers on these things, if you fooled around with this stuff before, we're not really in the market for working on this stuff, but the guy sent it along with this weigh scale that we were working on for weighing livestock. And I told him, if I can't fix this, I've got something else that will work, just probably a little bit cheaper and easier to use anyways, but we'll see what happens there. But leave a comment down below if you got any pointers on these things, if you know where you can get parts for them, besides calling Tripp Lite up and running into the hiccups there. I mean, tried contacting them. What's this thing made out anyway? Is it China made? Nope, Taiwan. So, alright, well, that's it for this little video. We'll see if we make a part 2 out of it and see what happens.